That's tasty. Hello again, Internet. This is Olin from What I'm Listening To. Today, I have even more pairs of albums, and I wasn't anticipating on doing another sequel to the Double Up vlog, but being that I have more albums and more pairs, we're gonna do it. So with that being said, let's get to it. The first album pair I have is... Thank you. Is Sleater-Kinney. This is a band that I've been getting really into lately. I talked about them in the birthday vlog. I got their latest album and I really dug it. And since I listened to that album and actually went back and re-listened to The Woods, I wanted to hear even more of Sleater-Kinney's work. So I got these two. This one is called Dig Me Out, and this one is pretty much the one that everybody says is their best album. I haven't really heard much off of it, but what I have heard I've really liked, probably the first two tracks, and I'm looking forward to diving deep into it.
Oh, you got the darkest times I've seen.
The other Sleater-Kinney album I got is The Hot Rock. This one is actually the follow-up to Dig Me Out, and the main reason I got this is the cover. Another great cover. This one had a recommended by an Amoeba employee sticker on it, and anytime I see that, I usually trust that it's going to be good. So far, everything that I've gotten that has that sticker is phenomenal, and I trust that this one will be just as good. So I'm excited to listen to Sleater-Kinney. The next album pair I have is, Tortoise. This is another post-rock band. I think I talked about them also in the birthday vlog. Well, I made reference to them, and they are post-rock in the sense of more ambient, chilled out, and some jazz influence to it. This is their second album, and I got this because it seems like it always shows up in albums you have to listen to before you die. The big hit off of this one is the first track, which is this 20-minute monster that starts off with this kind of droning keyboard and ends up exploding into this thing of noise. I don't know anything off this album, but I was wanting to hear these guys after I listened to one of the band member side projects, Brokeback. So I have Tortoise, the main group. This should be a cool listen. And I got this album, TNT, which is their third release. And the reason I got this is because while I was researching their discography, I found that this album had like 8 different genres that it was categorized as. It had ambient, it had, I believe, flamenco, it had post-rock, obviously, electronic. It had so many different categorizations, so I wanted to hear more from that. It just sounded way too cool to pass up. And also, the cover is just as good, too. So these should be good listens. I'm excited to check them out. Next album pairs are actually very personal albums for me. These are 2 albums by Buckethead. When I first moved to San Francisco, I was listening to these albums a lot. He has such a big discography. I think this guy might have the biggest discography of any musician ever. And typically he does avant-garde, heavy metal stuff. These two are different. Instead of shredding on the guitar and just showing off of how crazy good he is, he does that in a more laid-back ambient mode on these two. This one is called Electric Tears. It's the first of 2 albums he does, this one, and then the sequel is called Electric Sea. I was listening to both of those albums when I was bussing around and just getting to know the bus system here. They were kind of perfect to describe the mood I was in. It was sort of a mixture of nervousness, bleakness, and just kind of excitement. There's all this new stuff going on, and I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. All I knew, I was just in the moment, and I felt like this album kind of kept me grounded. And the best part about this particular album is I found it at Rasputin for like $4, which I say is great because every time I come across Buckethead's material, it's always insanely expensive. So I'm very happy to own this on CD, and I'm going to try to find Electric Sea so I can own that, but I'll be enjoying this one. This one is called Colma, and it's similar to Electric Tears and C, except he adds some backbeats to the music, so it's ambient, but it also has a trip-hop element to it. Once again, listening to this one a lot while bussing around, and even just kind of walking around and exploring the city, it kept me calmed down and allowed me to sort of take in everything at once. Both of these are stellar albums. I love Buckethead, and I'm so excited to especially own this one. The last albums come in 2 pairs, so we got one double up. These 4 albums are all by the Dismemberment Plan. Steve the roommate actually introduced these albums to me, and I bought I think it was their 4th album called Changes, long time ago. That record is so awesome. It has some killer cuts on it. I later got this one digitally, and I was kind of bummed because I wanted it physically, but it was so expensive. It was like $13, and I didn't really want to drop that amount of money. So I bought it digitally, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. This has some great songs. What Do You Want Me to Say is probably my favorite song on here. They're super weird. They're a math rock band with some kind of punky elements, and there's even some dance to it. Fast forward to now, I'm in San Francisco, I'm looking through the Dismemberment Plan section, and I find this for $2.99. So of course, I'm gonna grab it just so I can have it in my collection, and I'm so happy that I did, because with this one and the addition of these ones, I now have all of their studio albums. This is such a good record. It's called Emergency and I. It's definitely worth checking out.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? To let you know that I do mean it. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do?
While getting that album, I managed to pick up their last album, Uncanny Valley. This one is probably the most different from all their records. I would say that it's the most accessible because it kind of adds some funk elements to it, but also still retaining their post-hardcore alternative rock sound that they're known for. The lyrics are kind of goofy, and initially I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but over time I think I grew to like it. The main reason I got it is the cover. It just looks so good. I don't know what's going on in there, but it looks like a fun time. And also, it was $2.99, so I figured, what the hell, I'll grab it.
Good on the front porch, it's nicer than you think. Have yourself a coffee, have yourself a think. The neighbors all blink, and then they all wink. You know, someone does know something.
And these 2 albums are the first and the second album. I listened to this band in such an odd way. I started with their later stuff, and then I realized, geez, I haven't listened to any of their early stuff, so I grabbed these 2. I don't really know much about them, but all I know is it was before they started experimenting and doing all these weird genres, and they were just a straight-up post-hardcore punk band. This is the most raw sounding album that they do, and I've only really heard maybe 1 or 2 songs off of it. I like it, but I'm not really used to hearing it. I'm used to their refined studio sound. But like the last album they did, I'm sure it'll grow on me. And this album is called The Dismemberment Plan is Terrified. Still pretty raw, but they are slowly refining their sound on this one. Like the other album, I haven't heard much on it, but I have liked what I've heard, and I'm just excited to now own all of their material here.
We couldn't have asked for a funnier scene. And as for his temper, well, I see what you mean. But give him a week and I swear he'll just forget. Hey, the ice of Boston is muddy and reflects no light midday or night. I slip on it every time.
Okay, internet, that does it for me. I need to go get ready for work and make money to buy more CDs for these vlogs. So this is Olin from What I'm Listening To, signing out. Goodbye.